he would talk so nice. Hey man, you doing all right? Doing good? Yeah, man. Mr. and Mrs. Gatlin, you have a good son, really good son. As soon as the break was over, he would get in the courtroom and be like, and then Mr. Gatlin, he would proceed to just put me in the fire, man. Like, that's what it just felt like. It felt like it was never going to end.
Wow, that's crazy. Did you feel a sense of, even though your family members was there, did you feel a sense of loneliness? Because even though we say we have our family, when we enter the track or anything like that, we say on your marks, you're lonely. And then when you received everything, it's just your name on there, even though with you. Did you feel like alone when he was like, Mr. Gatlin?
I never felt alone in my career. My parents have been with me throughout my whole career, through all my ups and downs, bro. Like, the hardest part for me wasn't to feel lonely. It was actually the fact that I can see how it was physically breaking my parents down. Like, my mom was losing hair. My dad was becoming depressed. Like, you realize that my circle's tight. I'm close with my mom and dad. And they've always been my rock. And watching them deteriorate spiritually and physically was the most upsetting thing I had to go through. My mom said she was all prayed out. She said she didn't know what to pray for anymore.
That's crazy. The mental health wasn't even heavy around back that time. Did they get any help through it? Pastor or through any type of counseling?
Nah, man. I mean, when you come from a black community, mental health was a sign of weakness. You know what I mean? So it was a situation where we didn't know what to do. We felt like a zombie every day. You woke up, you went to court. You fought for your life. You ate dinner, went to sleep. You woke up, you went to court. You fought for your life. So that's what it felt like the whole time. It felt like I was in a weird cycle that was never ending.
Was there ever a point to where you felt like today I could win or today I lost? And did you feel like you could win at any point, or did you feel like the cards were already stacked up against you?
For me, it wasn't winning or losing. I thought that it was a misunderstanding, to be honest. I thought it was a misunderstanding. I cooperated. I helped as much as I could. I felt at the end, something was going to come up and I was going to be exonerated.
Increase your profit and work less time with Kittl, a genius new AI tool which is perfect for print on demand. You can conquer any niche you choose. All you need is a good idea, which Kittl will help you bring to life in just minutes, using highly customizable templates and assets, as well as the power of AI, which is trained for this type of work. Kittl is totally free to try, so click the link and make an account in a matter of seconds and test it out for yourself.
That never happened.
How'd you feel when that didn't happen?
Lost. I felt my purpose was taken away from me. I always was the center of attention when it came to especially being in home, like Pensacola, and amongst my people, track and field. So I felt like it'll straighten itself out. It never did.
Well, kind of, because we sitting there.
I mean, that's 2020 hindsight. That's 2020 hindsight. I remember going to court. I remember one time where I physically became ill from stress. Like fever, throwing up, body aches, all because of the stress. It started to get to me. where I realized that there wasn't going to be a good ending to the situation. And as the days went on, and as the news and newspapers were writing about my stories, it became more negative, and as the days went on,
Did somebody tell you not to read them, or did you read them anyway? Because you know they say once you become famous, you don't read or Google yourself because you'll find out everybody that don't like you.
no one's ever told me that. So, but you got to realize from that point, before I was winning everything, I was winning medals, awards. So I didn't mind reading about myself. And in fact, I enjoyed reading about myself because all the hard work I put in, it was being praised. So now I was getting a crash course of what it looked like to receive negative press. Exactly, man. Like, that's where I was. And to this day, it's hard for me to read about myself in articles, regardless of what it's about, because of that. My name was Mud. I was drugged all through that mud. Like, it was the worst feeling ever.
I can't imagine because it's like battling. It's not just battling the courtroom. You have to battle these people who live overseas who have an opinion. And like Instagram and stuff went out there, so it's like reading about yourself in the London Times and all these overseas magazines. Like, they don't have the full story, but everybody has a executed opinion on what they think or what they think happened without having the facts. So that had to been like really, really, really tough for you. Another thing, days prior, like the day you found out that you had to go to court, what was that like? That this is, since you've never been and you found out, you have a paper interview saying that you're ineligible to do what you do, but now you have to go to court for this and testify or try to get your name cleared. What was that like?
It was a confusing feeling. Because going through my whole adult life, all I know was track and field. That's it, So now I'm in a situation where I'm fighting for my life. I went through 3 lawyers in this whole process. Spent over $1 million in lawyer fees alone. Yeah. And found out that what the system was really made, it was made for people in my position to lose regardless. And we talk about that, But then when I realized that it wasn't going to play in my favor, I didn't know what to do with myself.
Did you have a big circle then? And like, yes, man, or a lot of people around you who you figured out wasn't there for you, but like, did you have a big circle?
It was big. I mean, I'm Olympic champion, world champion. Just broke the world record within less than a year. So I was getting a lot of buzz, a lot of press, a lot of people who are who's, Hollywood, going to different parties. As soon as everything started falling apart, there was a lot of people who weren't picking their phones up. A lot of people. I felt like I was in a movie, like where you see like the hero or whatever you want to call him take that blow, that loss, that setback. I was in a situation where I had nobody except my parents. That's it. I cried for that first year. I cried every night. I'm not even exaggerating. I cried myself to sleep every night because I felt like I was in a nightmare and I wasn't waking up.
There comes a time in every creator's life when they say,
I've got an idea for a t-shirt.
I have an idea for a poster. I see phone cases.
And mug.
That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. That's kind of unbearable. That do your parents know you cried every night?
No, I mean, I couldn't show that to my parents. They were my rock. We were supposed to be strong for each other. I think for them to know that their baby boy was in his house in North Carolina crying every night would break them. And there was at one point where my parents told me, just pack your stuff up and move home. And I did. I came back home. But as I did, I couldn't escape none of the negativity. Thinking I was at home in Pensacola, where I was a hometown hero, I've been okay. I felt like I was gonna be loved by the community. I remember waking up one day and the neighbor came over at like 7 o'clock in the morning. And he was stuttering and he was saying to my mom, like, hey, I think you need to, there's something written on your truck outside. And I had a big Cadillac Escalade EXT that was painted like orange, right? Bright orange. You remember that, right?
Yeah,
The bright orange one. With the,
yeah, juice on it or something like that, right?
yeah. It was sitting on 26-inch rims and everything,
Wow,
right?
wow.
And the neighbor was like, I think you need to come outside. There's something on your truck. It's written on your truck. And I remember my mom was already up. She was getting ready to go out to the store and handle some business like that. You know, just trying to have a normal day as we going through what we going through, right? And I remember me putting my clothes on and going outside, and on this bright orange truck was written steroids with that homecoming marker that all the kids would use when they're trying to write for homecoming and things like that in high school. It was like down the whole side of the truck. And I remember wiping it off.
Take your time.
I remember wiping it off and then going back inside the house. And my mom acted normal, and I let her act normal. And as soon as she left, I cried so hard into a pillow. I was screaming and yelling. I felt like I couldn't escape. I had nowhere to go there because, like I said, I felt like I was at home, hometown hero. And at that point, I had nowhere to turn, dog. I didn't know where to go.
That's heavy. Shoot. Midway through that year, man, after that situation, what were your thoughts about career-wise? What were you thinking of possibilities of things that you could do? Because I'm pretty sure it went through your mind. If I can't do this in the first year, what can I do?
I love track and field, dog. I still trained. Throughout the process of me being suspended and even going to court, I still would go in the morning and train. I would go back to my old high school. I would go train, and then I would go volunteer, help train the high school kids. That's all I knew. You got to realize that from high school, I got a scholarship, and then I went on to college, and then from college, I turned pro. And then after I turned pro, I won indoors. I won the Olympics the next year. I won the World Championship next year. Broke the world record the year after that. So all I knew in my life of being productive was track and field and being successful. So I didn't know what to do next. So I just kept doing what I knew, which was wake up every morning and practice.
Yeah, I mean, when you initially think about it, yeah, there was nothing else that you could think of to say, well, you were one and done, correct? At Tennessee, 1 year and then you were finished.
No, two. 2 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
2 years. Okay,
2 years.
you were still a baby. Yeah, you turned pro at what age?
20 years old.
20.
Yeah.
That's really late.
And then I won the Olympics at 21. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm fast forwarding back to that time, like 21, all of this is happening. 22, and then all of this crashed down at 23.
Yeah.
By that time, the world, you feel the world is yours, and then now you feel like the world is gone with everything that's happening. That's really tough.
I think the hardest thing for me, especially that first year, and the last couple years after that, it was the adverse effect of I was so proud to be who I was anywhere I went in public. Hey, Justin Gatlin. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Put your picture on the wall. Hey, yeah. And then I went through my whole ordeal that first year. I've never been so embarrassed in my life for being me. It was a moment where I wish I couldn't be me anymore. But you never can escape that.
Nah.
I woke up every morning, I was me.
Yeah. Yeah. Were there any happy moments in that year that you could think of that you could say, in my turmoil, this was a little piece of happiness from time to time, or one time, or any time?
Yeah, I had happiness. But it wasn't joy. And what I mean by that is over that first year going into the second year, I partied a lot. I met people who were helping me drown my sorrows. So my whole friendship dynamic changed big time. Like I was hanging with people who would party almost every day of the week. I was drinking so much. And you know me, I'm not a big drinker, man. You know what I'm saying? I was slamming like 7 to 8 Jaeger bombs every weekend. And in between, we were drinking like regular drinks.
A/B testing is everything in advertising. The more you test, the more winners you find. Ad Creative AI allows you to generate hundreds of conversion-focused ad creatives, text, and audiences in seconds using its unique artificial intelligence models, allowing you to test more and find more winners. Ad Creative AI is the only generative AI designed for advertisers, generating conversion-focused ad assets that deliver results. Create all the assets you need, such as creatives, text, audiences, and more. Additionally, our new feature, Competitor Insights AI, is going viral. See the best performing ads of your competitors, get inspiration, and generate better ones in seconds. Getting started with Ad Creative AI is super simple. Create your brand, upload your logo, and select your brand colors. Next, tell the AI all about what you're selling, and let it generate conversion-focused ad creatives, text, and audiences in seconds. And voila, just like that. Press code, conversion-focused ad creatives are ready for you to create killer ads.
Darlings, your skin is thirsty. New Charlotte's Magic Water Cream. It smooths, plumps, balances, visibly reduces the look of pores and redness for an instant fresh water glow. Shop at charlottetilby.com or on the app.
So sometimes I wake up, I don't even know where I'm at, whose house I'm at, because I was so sad, and I just wanted not to be me no more. That I would purposely get drunk.
So that was happiness for you? Just partying.
I mean, the mixture of music and drunk people. Looking back at it, it was I was numbing the pain,
Right.
but it was happiness at a fleeting moment, you know?
Right. But no signs of joy in that yet to say this happened to me and I felt like I forgot about what was going on in my life for a fraction of the moment.
Yeah, I mean, those people never asked me any questions. Never said nothing about my career, never asked me about track and field. Hell, I don't even know what track and field was. I'm being serious.
Wow.
But I found friendship in them, you know, and they accepted me as just not Justin Gap. And I think that was the only thing that kept me going daily, was the fact that I had people who were cool with me for just being me. I see how individuals who either get banned or kicked out of sports, and then they spiral down this like bad rabbit hole, right? And they end up in the strip club throwing mountains of money and doing crazy stuff, and then all of a sudden they get charged and locked up with DUIs and all kind of crazy stuff, right? One bad thing to another bad thing leads to another bad thing, and then that person is somewhere dead or in jail or something like that. So
This would be a question, possibly like figuring out how did you get out of that? Because if you were in that, what saved you from that? Because anybody in a situation like that, at that point, even 6 months in, may feel suicide, may feel stuff like that, you know what I mean? So what saved you? What had you to the point of this can't be it?
I'm gonna touch on that. So I'm gonna go back to those few of those words you spoke on. I don't even know if it really was suicide or suicidal, but I didn't value my life as much as I did and do now. And what I mean by that is I became more reckless. My heart hurt a lot. A lot.
So it's a lot of emotional pain. Emotional pain is one of the pains where people don't want to deal with. It's why they do things like party, drugs, things like that, because it doesn't heal like a regular wound. You get a cut on your arm, you can actually see the scabs coming. Emotional pain,
Yeah.
it takes either time or you never get over it.
So the moment that I knew that I was going down a bad path, it was gonna be worse for me than what I was dealing with. It was one night I was so drunk that my vision was blurry. And I was on Pensacola Beach, and I was leaving a club, and I remember I was in my Porsche Carrera 911, and I rolled over a boulder,